on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackowicz. Welcome to the Cage Review, and I'm going to put this on Cage Gaming 2 channels. So, Death Stranding. This is my game review, and I got to tell you, man, this is going to be a hell of a rant. So, strap in for this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, Death Stranding. This thing was promoted heavily as a new game from Hideo Kojima that was really pushed at E3 last year, and I thought it looked really, really good. The trailers looked amazing. Great game graphics, and you know, they were showing like pretty much 100% story from the game. A little bit of gameplay, but not really enough to know what it was. But there was a lot of mystery and intrigue around a lot of the trailers for this game, Death Stranding. And so there was a lot of excitement, and things were really built up. People expected big things, especially considering it was Hideo Kojima. Well, we get the game. And what are we doing? We're walking. So, bear with me for a second. This is what the game is like. You feel that extreme boredom there? That's what this game is, almost all the way through. You're walking. That's all you're doing. But not just walking. So let's get into this. You have what I think is a very great story. And I think that this game suffered because they didn't go the Quantic Dream route and just make this game a story game. If they had had a great story and paced it out as a story, I think this would have been a much, much, much better game. And I think that it was a unique and inventive plot where you're seeing things that you've definitely never seen before, and you've got concepts you've probably never heard before, at least not like this. And so I have to give that part of the game credit. You have amazing graphics at times. There are parts of this that look absolutely beautiful. They've created this world that is breathtaking. No doubt about it. But that's kind of where the positives run out. So as I said, you're walking, and it creates a lot of boredom because what you're doing is you're playing Sam Porter Bridges, who is a carrier, meaning he takes packages from one place to another place. And that is the gameplay for this game. And you start out for a very long section of the opening of this game just walking around. And that is it. That's all you're doing is walking. But then they add this balance simulator. It's a balance simulator because you're walking on different types of terrain. You're walking on snowy mountains, your elevations, rainy hills. And so this is now you're carrying weight. You're weighted on your back, and you're on these slippery areas. And so it creates a balance simulator that is very frustrating at times. Very frustrating. I mean, the game is already boring as all hell, but then you have to worry about slipping and breaking all your packages or something like that, and then you have to start all over. It's not fun. It's really not fun. I paid $60 for this fucking game, and it felt like a chore. Like, what you're doing is a chore, and it felt like a chore playing the game. None of this was fun. Well, I won't say none of it, but very, very little of this was actually fun. The vehicle mechanics, you eventually get vehicles in this game that help you go from one place to another much quicker. However, the mechanics in this game are absolutely absurd. And especially when you're in these big trucks, it defies all laws of physics. Like, for a game that is designed around physics and balance and things of that nature, it fails miserably. And so, again, you're just adding to the frustration. When you're trying to climb a hill, you hit a small rock, and it sends your vehicle just spiraling out of control, sometimes going over the edge of a cliff, sometimes going all the way back down to the bottom. It just, nothing is designed right. Nothing. Combat. You do have these groups of people called mules who are essentially the terrorists that just basically their whole mission is to try to take people's packages away because you're a carrier. So you're in a fight with somebody and you start hitting them, but then for some reason, while you're in mid combo, you're not hitting them anymore. You're punching the air somewhere off to the side. The mechanics for the combat suck. And if you're playing on hard and you've got a group of mules around you, you're going to die. It's just that simple. You're going to fucking die. I had armor that you can get very late in the game that you're supposed to put on. I bought it and I couldn't put it on. So I never bought it again. There's a lot of issues with this game like that. And when you talk about mechanics, I remember like there's been times when I was walking up like the icy slopes of a mountain, which is one of the harder things to do in the game, but even harder when you're on solid ground, but you're falling with the plane of the mountain itself, and then you hit something and you die. Like not there. Okay, so there's parts of this game where you run out of your stamina meter and you'll slide down a mountain. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about legitimately falling. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's just like nothing was thought through with this game. It was just horribly, horribly done. So you have general issues with balance just throughout. And so the biggest issue with this game is the pacing, though. You have this very cool story where this thing called the Death Stranding happened, and so now you have kind of the dead on our plane. They're kind of ghosts that can do harm to you. And they can do harm in massive ways if a body dies. So apparently when you die in this game, you go to a beach, which is like your transition into the next life. So everybody has a beach that they go to. And so the dead are referred to as BTs, beached things. And so these BTs show up on our plane, and when you're walking, making these deliveries, BTs will show up. And this really slows the game down even further, because now you're at a crawl and you have to hold your breath to avoid getting caught by these BTs, or you can just outright fight them, which 9 times out of 10, it means you're going to damage your cargo. And whoever thought this would be a compelling, engaging gameplay needs to be fired. It's not compelling, it's not engaging, it is boredom at its worst. And beyond boredom, I haven't raged out at a game this much ever. Ever. And I'll be honest, like I used to rage out at games a lot when I was younger and I was full of piss and vinegar and, you know, I couldn't do things or whatever, and so I just get frustrated. It's been a long time since I've done that. A long time. This game made me rage out more than any game I've ever played. Because of the mechanics, because of the boredom, because everything's so stalled and so slow, and you have to wait so long to get to the next part of the story. Which, again, I give props to the story. It was amazing. But it should have been a story. Or it should have had a different gameplay. But to put this story around this gameplay is an absolute fail, in my opinion. An absolute fail. A game I have to grade on the story, yes, but obviously on the gameplay. And this gameplay was horrible. And so, at the end of the day, it is a massive fail, in my opinion. A massive fail. This is, without a doubt, my least favorite game that I've ever played. And I've played a lot of duds, including the likes of Terminator Salvation. But when you come into this gameplay where it's this boring and this frustrating, I don't like it. I'm just not into that. I am not into being frustrated for the sake of being fucking frustrated. And I genuinely feel like sometimes maybe this game is a test of like how much they can frustrate you and then calm you down with that shitty music they play. Because, I mean, that's all it is. They frustrate the shit out of you and then they play some lame-ass song. I don't know, dude. At the end of the day, it just does not work for me. I really love what they did with the story. It was so inventive, so cool. But it took so long to get anywhere in the story, in the game. It was hours and hours and hours of why the fuck am I doing this? If I hadn't started playing this game and posting videos on my YouTube channel, I would have never finished it. I just would not have finished it because I'm not into it at all. I wouldn't have cared. But I started, I posted, and so damn it, I was already invested. I had to see it through. I will never touch this game again though. I am going for the platinum because I'm a glutton for punishment and, you know, it's just the way it is. I should mention that they had a pretty cool enemy here in Higgs, played by Troy Baker, and he was, you know, trying to use somebody who had some powers to basically cause the annihilation of every living thing. And so your big enemy, other than the mechanics, was Higgs, which was pretty cool. I really liked that. But yeah, man, a lot of money spent on a piece of shit. That's how I feel. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackowicz. Cage Nation, out.